Alright, anyway, I decided I was gonna read this article. Read and respond to this article. React to this article. And I'm experimenting with a blur filter on OBS. Because even though it's an article in like a major, website or whatever, and it doesn't actually show any female nipples, even just the outline of nipples under a shirt by Twitch standards can be considered sexually explicit nudity. But, if I was a dude, I could just be sitting there completely topless and be fine. Hence the problem. But yeah, every now and then I like to do a web search for like, will social media companies ever free the nipple, topless equality US, blah blah blah. Just to depress myself on how little progress we've made. Well, it's actually, now it feels like every few months, but for a little while, every few years, you'd have one female celebrity post one picture with a bit of her nipple visible, and all the news reports would be like, oh my god, celebrity frees the nipple. First of all, having the outline of your nipple vaguely visible under your shirt is not the same as being actually topless, just like any fucking man can do. But it was always a one-off, and then nothing would happen. And now, like, Florence Pugh, who I really like her as an actor anyway, 2 or 3 times now she's been to like a red carpet event with a semi see-through outfit, and of course, the responses are, oh, this whore, she just wants attention, blah blah blah. But then I do see some somewhat intelligent discourse sometimes, but then nothing happens, nothing changes, nothing, people freak out about it for a little bit, and then absolutely nothing changes. None of these websites are less hateful towards female chest or less prone to censorship based on what gender you look like. And I was also kind of laughing because about a year ago, the Meta Oversight Board made a recommendation that Facebook and Instagram should stop censoring nipples based on perceived gender. And I remember a whole bunch of people in the Topless Topics community were DMing me like, Facebook and Instagram are gonna allow nipples now! I'm like, no, this is a recommendation by their advisory board. Meta is not gonna give a shit. They're just gonna totally ignore it, and sucks to be right. Oh, bless you guys. Bless you, sweet summer children, thinking that mainstream social media and American legislation and everything like that would ever make things less bad for women. It just keeps getting worse. Anyway, so this article is euronews.culture, which, is not a huge website, or euronews.com, but pretty much says the same thing. So this was published... Oh god, it's the British way. I was like, the month of 16. Okay, so January 16th, 2024. So quite recently, actually. I'm assuming these are Instagram posts, or at least, they've been published in mainstream news posts or whatever. And again, it's really not showing anything, but Twitch is so much extra anti-women, and of course I get banned to a degree that nobody else does, that I decided to blur it just in case. If I make a cut of this video to put on YouTube, I'll carefully put a link to it, because YouTube likes to give me a strike for literally any URL I put in for anything. Doesn't matter if it's actually got anything remotely NSFW on it or not. Anyway, so let's read the article. Free the Nipple, Why Should It Still Be Headline News? By David Moraquand. Khloe Kardashian may be celebrated right now, but there's still a way to go. So what is Free the Nipple, and why are sexist double standards when it comes to teats still prevalent in 2024? That was an awkward sentence, but yeah. Khloe Kardashian is the latest celebrity to free the nipple, following the likes of Florence Pugh, Dua Lipa, and her own Kardashian sisters, and embracing the growing movement that celebrates a woman's right to bare her breasts. The 39-year-old Kardashian, hey, she's just slightly older than me, that's interesting, was photographed by Greg Swales in a photo shoot for TMRW magazine, never heard of him, wearing a sheer black lace vest which exposed her bare breasts. Whoa! Wait, was her chest actually visible, or was it just the outline? Because they said bare chest, but again, like, they keep saying that just the outline of the nipple under the shirt is free the nipple. Anyway, during the interview, she said, "It's so powerful the older you get, how secure and comfortable you get with your skin and with people. I don't care who agrees with what I'm doing. You feel good." Yeah, no. This is not a bare breast. She's still wearing, like, there's lace. Like, you can barely tell there's a nipple under there. That's what I'm talking about. Here, I'll even turn the blur filter off for 1 second, because I think even Twitch is going to be okay with this. Here you go. Yeah, that's not a bare breast. All right, turn it back on. Like, if a dude was wearing a shirt that was all that lacy or whatever, people would not be like, oh my god, bare breast. But of course, people don't fucking know or care when people who look male are fully topless. They could be naked except for a Speedo, and yeah. Anyway, the photo was posted on Instagram, and users on the platform went crazy for it. Okay. But where does the Free the Nipple movement come from, and why is it still a big deal when a female celebrity bears her chest? What is Free the Nipple? The Free the Nipple movement highlights the inherent injustice that men are allowed to appear topless in public while women are considered indecent for doing the same. The campaign The campaign was created in 2012 when filmmaker Lena Esco filmed herself running topless through the streets of New York. Side note, New York is basically one of the only states where it is legal for anyone to go topless, not just men, and pretty much the only place that is exercised is in New York City, and cops are constantly having to get retrained to not arrest women for being topless there, even though it's been legal there for decades. As the documentary was being made, she posted teaser clips with the hashtag Free the Nipple. See, it's unfortunate that she put the word nipple in there, because nipple triggers censorship. So it should have been like free the chest or something like that. Even then that's like, eh. But yeah, having the word nipple, I can't put hashtag free the nipple in any of my social media posts or they get shadow banned if not banned outright. In 2013, Facebook removed these clips from its website for violating its guidelines, leading several celebrities, Rihanna, Chelsea Handler, among others, to post photos on social media to show their support of Esco's initiative. Free the Nipple anchors itself in the Top Freedom movement, a cultural and political campaign which seeks changes in laws to allow women to be topless in public. God forbid, have exact same rights on social media. Just even being allowed to go topless in public, just like a fucking man at any beach, any pool, anywhere outside. From allowing mothers to openly breastfeed in public to getting rid of restrictions and arrests when a woman shows her breasts in public. They keep saying public, public, public. Anyway, though the Free the Nipple movement has gained traction on social media over the last decade, has it though? Celebrities have been calling out Western culture's inherent sexualization of women's breasts for much longer. Hollywood stars like Marlene Dietrich, I don't want to say that, and Rita Hayworth oppose the conservative values of the 40s and 50s by showing their breasts in see-through tops and dresses in films and on stage. So that's incredible. This is in the 40s and 50s, and you still couldn't wear that nowadays. So we're just as restrictive, in fact, in many ways more restrictive in 2024 than we were in the 40s and 50s when it comes to women's bodies. Incredible. Their fashion choices paved the way for the likes of Jane Fonda and Jane Fonda and Jane Birkin in the 60s, and in the 1990s wearing naked dresses on red carpets became more popular. See, this is a kind of image where I'm hesitant if I didn't have the blur on to show on Twitch, where again it's just a sheer thing, like she's wearing underwear and you can almost see her chest, which by the way, I'm not sure who this is. Kate Moss. Okay, her chest is quite flat. In fact, there are many dudes with much larger breasts than that, and yet guess which one of us is allowed to go topless in public and online? Some of the most memorable outfits include those worn by Kate Moss, Rose McGowan, Shalom Harlow, and Gwyneth Paltrow, who all donned translucent fabrics as a statement and marked the fashion scene in the 90s. So we've got 40s, 50s, 60s, 90s, and, the last few years, the Free the Nipple movie, documentary, whatever, in 2013. Like, you see decade after decade after decade of these flash-in-the-pan protestations of censorship based on what gender you look like, and yet nothing improves, nothing changes. It stays where it is or it gets worse. How fucking insane is that? Here's another one next to Marilyn Manson. That aged well. That's revealing. She's got a like lacy thong panty, and then the dress is basically like mesh. So this actually does look closer to naked than not. A dude could wear that, and people might look kind of weird at him, but he's never going to get banned on a fucking social media website for sexually explicit nudity. So still, despite countless feminist protests and braless celebrities on red carpets, today a non-male nipple is still somehow front page news. I like how they mention non-male nipple because, again, as I frequently point out, what highlights the absurdity of gender-based censorship more than how trans and non-binary people are treated, because it literally doesn't matter what you identify as, it doesn't matter what your lower anatomy is, as long as that part's covered. It only matters whether the algorithms and the censorship mods that control these websites look at you and decide you look male or look female. That's all that matters if you get the right to go topless in public and online or not. In 2022, actress Florence Pugh, love her, was at the heart of a shameful backlash when she wore a hot pink Valentino gown on the red carpet at Paris Fashion Week. And like, yeah, you can see a tiny bit of nipple. Otherwise, it's this really pretty flowy, whatever, pink outfit, like really, really nice looking. And I mean, this is Paris Fashion Week. Like, people wear the weirdest fucking dresses. Here's this pretty much not weird dress, like just nice dress, something I would actually wear if I ever had a fancy outfit, you know, need for a fancy outfit. But simply the fact that you can kind of see her nipples under that. Front page news! That whore! That attention-seeking bitch! Ah! Anyway, here's her description from Florence Pugh's Instagram post, which I couldn't post that and get away with it if I posted exactly the same image. Even if it was a picture of her, I bet if I posted the same image, I would get, you know, banned. But anyway, we know that rules don't apply to the same degree as to celebrities as they do to everybody else. Listen, I knew when I wore that incredible Valentino dress that there was no way there wouldn't be a commentary on it, whether it be negative or positive. We all knew what we were doing. I was excited to wear it. Not a wink of me was nervous. I wasn't before, during, or even now after. What's been interesting to watch and witness is just how easy it is for men to totally destroy a woman's body, publicly, proudly, for everyone to see. You even do it with your job titles and work emails in your bio. It isn't the first time, and certainly won't be the last time, a woman will hear what's wrong with her body by a crowd of strangers. What's worrying is just how vulgar some of you men can be. Thankfully, I've come to terms with the intricacies of my body that make me me. I'm happy with all of the flaws, so I couldn't bear to look at when I was 14. So many of you wanted to aggressively let me know how disappointed you were by my tiny tits, or how I should feel embarrassed by being so flat-chested. And yet again, men with much larger breasts than her, they're allowed to be topless online and in public, and nobody gives a shit. Fuck that. I've lived in my body for a long time. I'm fully aware of my breast size, and I'm not scared of it. What's more concerning is, why are you so scared of breasts? Small, large, left, right, only one, maybe none. What is so terrifying? It makes me wonder what happened to you to be so content on being so loudly upset by the size of my boobs and body. I'm very grateful that I grew up in a household with very strong, powerful, curvy women. We were raised to find power in the creases of our body, to be loud about being comfortable. It has always been my mission in this industry to say fuck it and fuck that whenever anyone expects my body to morph into an opinion of what's hot or sexually attractive. I wore that dress because I know if being loudly abusive towards women publicly in 2022 is so easy for you, then the answer is that it is you who doesn't know. Grow up, respect people, respect bodies, respect all women, respect humans. Life will get a whole lot easier, I promise. And all because of 2 cute little nipples. Oh, the last slide is for those who feel more comfortable with that inch of darker skin to be covered. So yeah. And the fact that she's an awesome actress on top of it, you know, triple hit. I don't know anything about who she is outside of this, but what I've heard of Florence Pugh is pretty awesome. Anyway, back to the article. While most complimented her online, many men criticized the actor and her body, which led Pugh to hit back. And then it just quotes the post. Progress with some caveats. Pugh's message seems to have opened the nipple gates. This is 2022. As you can see, we've made so much progress since then. As last year saw many celebs embrace the movement at red carpet events, from Doja Cat at the 2023 VMAs, Charlie XCX, and Rina Sawayama. I don't even know who any of these people are. At the Brit Awards, to Maggie Rogers at Glamour's Women of the Year event, the Free the Nipple movement was everywhere. Now this is an interesting outfit. It looks like it's sort of like a crocheted spider outfit or something. And then she has like skin-colored underwear underneath. So that's kind of interesting. And who could forget how Dua Lipa stole the show with her sheer silver chain mail Bottega Veneta gown at the premiere of the Barbie movie in Los Angeles. And it's really cool looking. Like, it's so sad that you can't just have something like that and be like, man, that's a cool looking dress. It's got to be like, oh my god, yes, I am going over the top because that's what they sound like. The most alarming part of this picture for me is these shoes look like a weapon. Like, they're so spiky. Yeah, anyway, the growing ubiquity of these revealing fashion styles continues to challenge the received idea that showing nipple is contentious. More than that, it starts to feel like it could be less of active activism or a statement and just a natural way of showing one's skin. Can you imagine if we could just have nipples visible as part of a fashion statement? There is actually this subreddit, and the main moderator of this Reddit is actually a supporter of topless equality, not a creep, actually one of the good ones, and it's called Alt Boob World. And the whole idea behind the subreddit is posts of women with their nipples visible, but it's supposed to be like an alternative world where it is just a fashion item, like wearing your hair up or down. It's not, oh my god, nipples. And unfortunately, most of the pictures on there are just women with like a normal, pro censorship shirt, but just pulled down with their boobs hanging out. There aren't really a lot of fashion options where you do have boobs visible. But still, like, just the idea of it, and like gross pervy comments are basically not allowed. You have to be respectful. So it's an interesting idea. All right, so back to the article. Even more encouraging is the renewed discussion over the infamous Super Bowl halftime show in 2004, during which a wardrobe malfunction resulted in Janet Jackson's breast being exposed. Jackson's career was effectively derailed while co-performer Justin Timberlake got off scot-free. Fun fact, if you did not know this, YouTube was founded by a couple of guys who were frustrated by how hard it was to find clips of that nip slip. Look it up. YouTube was founded on dudes looking for female nipples to unintentionally expose female nipples to fap to. And to this day, YouTube doesn't allow female nipples without banning them as sexually explicit nudity. At least if I post them, other people can post full-on uncensored nudity and don't get banned. But if I ever post even I'm like spitting on my screen. Even if I post pre-censored topless equality videos, you can go to toplesstopics.org/banned, BANNED, to see hundreds of screenshots of me getting banned on every platform you've heard of and some you haven't, including numerous ones on YouTube. YouTube. Anyway, today, Jackson and other women who were unfairly villainized in the past are getting their much-deserved redemption. But while Khloe Kardashian and others may be celebrated, progress is slow and double standards still persist. Much of it has to do with social media platforms, yes, which have their own guidelines and policy regarding nudity and revealing nipples. Female nipples. Must talk about female nipples. Over the years, many platforms have taken down posts or banned accounts because of an algorithm that considers female nipples as flouting community guidelines. And the bad news is, one, all these websites, especially YouTube, lie when they say, oh, if you appeal a flag, it goes to a live person. I know this because numerous times I've appealed a flag and literally milliseconds after I clicked it, it said appeal denied. So you're telling me a real human person watched a 20-minute video and determined that it has female nipples in it, sexually explicit female nipples in it in split seconds? And two, the people who are put in charge of looking at these moderation, reviewing the moderation or whatever, are in large part severely underpaid people in undeveloped nations who have very clear restrictions on what they're allowed to, give a pass on, and they're not going to risk it. They're not going to risk losing their jobs by allowing even pre-censored female nipple, because better to ban just in case it's porn. In early 2023, the oversight board at Meta, which owns Instagram and Facebook, they didn't mention that in this, recommended that the company revise its rules regarding nipples, stating that its policy is based on a binary view of gender and a distinction between male and female bodies. Again, that news piece, I had so many Topless Topics followers DM me all excited thinking that this means that female nipples would be allowed on Instagram, and I said, ha, you are so innocent and naive, my dear child. Yeah, I spontaneously decided to stream. I just was getting frustrated at what I was trying to do, and I was like, I want to get on camera and complain about shit, because that's a good idea. I'm sure I won't say anything I regret live on camera. Eminently wise, but under its current community guidelines, Instagram states that it does not allow nudity on the platform. This includes photos, this is quoting the article, quoting Instagram, this includes photos, videos, and some digitally created content that shows sexual intercourse, genitals, and close-ups of fully nude buttocks. the guidelines state. It also includes some photos of female nipples, but photos in the context of breastfeeding, birth giving, and after birth moments. I mean, are people generally posting photos of themselves mid-giving birth? I don't know. Health-related situations, for example, post-mastectomy, breast cancer awareness, or gender confirmation surgery, or an act of protest are allowed. All my stuff is an act of protest. Everything I post is an act of protest. That doesn't work. There's also an unlimited number of people pointing out posts that they had banned that are breastfeeding, that are post-mastectomy or whatever, that still got banned. Also, I can't think of the quote exactly, but I saw one from someone a while ago that really stuck to me, where it was like, so the only times that female nipples are allowed to be visible is if a baby is attached, or if it's like a gaping, you know, it's a wound, it's having them cut off. That's the only time that female nipples are allowed to be visible. That's pretty fucking morbid. There's still some way to go, and a recent ad campaign highlighted once more that social media wasn't the only obstacle. Indeed, a recent Calvin Klein ad unveiling its Spring-Summer 2024 campaign was censored in the UK, and the sexist double standard was hard to ignore. I'm going to very briefly turn the blur off. I'm nervous because you can't actually see anything, but you never fucking know. You never fucking know with Twitch what they're going to decide is too much or not. Yeah. Yup. Just fucking male body, just female, male. Yup. So, this Calvin Klein thing or whatever, the first time I heard it, was actually a Haley Bailey short video making fun of like girls being thirsty about it or whatever. She's this like rich supermodel who does actually funny videos. But yeah, so I saw that and I was like, huh? And I looked into it and I was just like screaming like, fucking hypocritical patriarchy, blah blah blah. Fucking full body male nudity, except for just all over all the internets, all the downtown, you know, giant New York side. Well, New York allows female nipples, but you know, giant LA posters, blah blah blah. Male nipples larger than your face, in your face, but can't have female nipples even two pickles big. Female nipples visible in a Facebook post without getting banned. The campaign featured The Bears, Jeremy Allen White in his underwear showing off his toned physique. Everyone started idolizing the man and his bare chest in what is a fairly typical Calvin Klein pose. However, when it came to singer-songwriter FKA Twigs, the UK's Advertising Standards Authority decided to ban the image of the singer flashing some flesh, as it considered the artist resembled a stereotypical sexual object. Somehow not sexual? Sexual. Not sexual? Sexual. It's like fucking YouTube in their moderation where they're like, nothing meant for sexual titillation, and it's like fucking 95% naked dude going, isn't intended to be sexual, but a woman sitting there without a shirt doing absolutely nothing is. Anyway. The authority went on to state that the image's composition placed viewers' focus on the model's body rather than the clothing being advertised. So do they want a photo that, like, edits out the body and just shows the clothing? Like, what? What? This is a good comment in the article, because everyone was really focusing on Jeremy's clothing there. See a closer version of the image for yourself. Here's the caption on the post by FKA Twigs. I do not see the stereotypical sexual object that they have labeled me. I see a beautiful, strong woman of color whose incredible body has overcome more pain than you can imagine. In light of reviewing other campaigns, past and current of this nature, I can't help but feel there are some double standards here. So to be clear, I am proud of my physicality and hold the art I create with my vessel to the standards of women like Josephine Baker, Eartha Kitt, and Grace Jones, who broke down barriers of what it looks like to be empowered and harness a unique embodied sensuality. Thank you to CK and Mert and Marcus, who gave me space to express myself exactly how I wanted to. I will not have my narrative changed. Girl power. That's me. I don't know. Can anyone ever even say girl power without it being, like, sarcastic now? Huge fucking double standards. Yes! Like, it's so fucking obvious, and yet nothing changes. Nothing gets better. I don't understand. I don't understand it. All I can do is make stupid voices because it's like, what else is there to say other than fuck the patriarchy? So while progress is being made through evolving standards and fashion statements, female bodily autonomy is nowhere near a done deal. As long as nipple flaunting looks remain toplessness for men and nudity for women, thank you, sexist double standards will prevail, and nipple-freeing shots like Florence Pugh's and Khloe Kardashian's will continue to grab headlines. Necessarily so. How can my nipples offend you that much, wondered Pugh. How indeed. I don't think we ever will. I don't think we will ever get to a place where women are treated exactly the same as men, and non-binary people are never going to be respected. They're always going to be judged as whatever gender they look like. Same thing with trans people. It doesn't matter what you identify as. It doesn't matter what your lower anatomy is. It doesn't matter what your legal identity is. It only matters whether you look male or look female when it comes to being banned online. Thanks for letting me rant. Again, those of you who've been following me for a while, this is nothing new, but I just... yeah, it's amazing the nonsense defenses I get of gender-based censorship all the time from men and women with crazy internalized misogyny, and one of these days I am going to do my frequently asked questions series where I will address these idiot comments one at a time, but that day is not today. I'm a little too... If you're watching the highlight clip of this, thanks for watching. Like and subscribe and leave a comment telling me your defense for why female-looking nipples should continue to be banned everywhere in public and online as sexually explicit nudity, but not male-looking nipples. If you can come up with one. And if you can't come up with one, pretend to be one. Pretend that you can come up with one so we can have fun making fun of how nonsensical it is. All right.